Well. We're back, and I have an unintentional upgrade after my equipment failure the other day, which is nice. Nice that I very haphazardly and thankfully spending of €10 to get a nice new arm to mount my phone to my monitor arm. I have a new camera system, and to flex on that, I'm wearing a color I've never been able to wear on stream before. So, blasphemy. Unintentional upgrade. Still costs a little bit, but here we are. Raf, my best buddy Raf. It's been a minute since Monday. How are we feeling? How are we feeling after fighting Marek Kath? I might put it out there. It might be one of my favorite fights of all time. I mean, it's up there. Like, you know, there's certain ways I rank it, but I think, like, especially that cinematic moment of, I didn't want to bring you any pain, but oh, I will smile to make you suffer. Kill Zamani. That was, and not know, like, the fact that you won based on a gap in his knowledge feels even better. Like, you outsmarted him. What's wrong? Can't hear Raph? Why can't you hear Raph? 1 second. Sharon has told me that you are not... it is, yeah, so 1 second. Oh, I think I know what this is. I'll check this. Hello, test. We're
hello.
Yeah, we can hear you now. Oh, we can hear you loud and clear. Thank you, Sharon.
Okay. Nice.
Okay, 1 sec. I actually have to turn you down. Hold it down a little bit and turn this down because I was running sound through. How do I put this? So I was running sound through my headset, not through SteelSeries Sonar, and SteelSeries Sonar has made you so much crisper.
Oh, interesting.
Actually, no. You know what? It's made you a little tinny. I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna revert it.
Okay,
I'm gonna revert it.
Okay.
It's just a little tinny.
Everyone on stream will be back to hearing my beautiful dulcet tones very soon.
Okay. Test.
How is it sounding now? Is it tinny? Is it there? Is it normal?
It's still tinny. I need to fix it in Zoom now.
Okay. Look, this week is the week of technical issues, apparently.
Try again.
Hello.
Okay, yeah.
Working on?
Yeah, you're not.
How is your mic's really quiet now, Des?
No, it's not, Raph. That's not what that was meant to do. Quiet for you? No, you know what? That was me. That wasn't. 1 moment. That was me.
There we go. That's better.
There we are. Everything's fixed. Let me get your voice.
Hello. This is testing. I'm about to talk again about Monday.
Yeah, perfect. So yeah. Sorry, technical issues.
People couldn't hear me. What I was saying beforehand to Des is that was one of the most intense fights that I think I've ever had, just in general in D&D. It was like from start to finish, from the very start, with Marek arriving on board the ship, threatening us, offering the deal, then causing the blood rain, all of that. From that moment right up until the end, it was tense.
A clencher. It was a clencher.
There was never a moment where it felt like, oh yeah, I can just relax. It was like, okay, on edge the entire time.
Bro,
which actually said,
just gotta talk that way.
It felt good beating him using a gap in his knowledge. As I said to Des, people didn't hear this, but it felt very much like an anime protagonist being like, he doesn't know about this ability. I'm gonna use this.
But that's literally it. So obviously he has a little information about your shards, but he doesn't know all of its abilities because even your party, the only 2 people that knew about that ability was you and me. Me out of character, just as the DM designer of the item. And you just holding this, like you still have more abilities you haven't seen, but obviously I think he knew of your psionic resonance because of Gromathere. He knows that ability.
Yeah.
However, he did not know of the influx of ether, and oh my god, it's so
it's another reason, like this is a small reason, it's not quite as big as the madness type of thing, but another reason why Calasinda hasn't wanted to use the shards too much is because he doesn't want to show off what they can actually do. He wants to keep that hidden. He doesn't want to everyone just be like, okay,
you want these advantages in hard fights.
I want advantages. I want people to not be like, not have any knowledge. Like, can the shard do this? I've seen it do this before, but can I manage this? And there to be that degree of uncertainty around what it can and can't do.
But like Marek knew, like really mechanically, like your spell slots. So
yeah,
like even when you pulled out that fourth one, he was like, okay, what?
There are magic items that can do that. Like there.
Yeah, I was like, he was like, I missed something. I missed something.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
maybe he took a dip into like wizard, got some arcane recovery. Like, what's going on over here?
Something. He was like, okay, this is not adding up. However, that last one, with like, because you saw he was not attacking melee attacks while within your range of being able to use Wayward Strike.
Yes.
Which I'm just gonna say, playing a boss. Also, I love that I kind of revealed this afterwards. Marikath is just countered by Chill Touch, a fucking cantrip.
Yeah, I did not.
I think you have that cantrip too.
I do. That's the biggest issue. Is just that it didn't click in my mind that it would be effective on him. For some reason, I thought at least that you would have like inbuilt some way to negate it, that it wouldn't work. I just didn't think that a basic fucking cantrip would function on Merrick.
There is a break in every link. There is a way to beat anything. And I was so surprised that Chill Touch did not come out, but no way I was revealing that in the fight. That guy healed like 300 fight in that fight.
300 fight, I know, like that was... He like that healing mechanic was rough. So was the damage, actually. The damage output was insane.
He did that on his surprise round before he revealed himself to you guys. He can only actually do that for a minute. The healing only lasts a minute. Otherwise the blades just do the damage and they don't heal back. But it's 1 per day for a minute.
Right.
Yeah.
See, that's even more frustrating then that he managed to get the surprise round on us.
Yeah.
Because... Which I think is what tilted the fight in his direction. Like, we made a very good recovery from the surprise round, but it still tilted in his direction.
Oh, even just the surprise round in his high initiative just made it so he was able to be a menace to society. I think you need like 3 or 4 key points, but he had to use them all pretty early on. But I think, honestly, the Zamani not getting mind control is probably one of your biggest things.
That was massive. That was massive. If Zamani got mind controlled, I reckon we would have, like, hands down, we would have lost that fight a few turns beforehand. Yeah. Yeah. 100%.
But I had contingencies, as I said. I did have ideas of how it would go if you lost that fight.
What would have you done? Like,
I'm keeping them for if you lose to another general.
Alright, fair. I wasn't sure if you would have like Merrick specific ones, or if it's just like
they all involve Samael.
Right. I was genuinely concerned that you were gonna have to pull out those contingency plans, though. I was genuinely thinking you would have to pull them out. And when it came down to Calasinda standing by himself at the end, I'm like, there's no way I'm going to do this. There is no way. He's going to roll well or hit well, and it's going to go through, and I'm going to die, and that's going to be it.
I hate how I rolled his teeth, but I will say, that last one when he was like, I can't frenzy, I need my AC in case you decide to pull out a weapon attack.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and I felt so bad, that last Sonic Resonance, you rolled a 57, and all you had to roll was a 60. 60 or above, he died. 30 HP left.
Yeah.
And it's funny because if you'd managed to stall him till his next round, he wouldn't have even been able to use his weapons. He'd have had to swap to his unarmed strikes, which are still strong. They're vampire strikes. Like,
I had such low HP though that it didn't matter what weapon he was using. Like, if you put enough attacks into me, chances are that he would have done at least 2, and yeah. But which being said, high AC for Calasinda also factored in a lot into that. The fact that he missed me a few times.
He had a plus 18 to hit with a plus 3 artifact. Like, I think that's pretty much I think that's the highest to hit an enemy's ever had against you guys, first of all.
I'm trying to think, and I think in any of your games, that's the
because this is the highest level we've ever been. But
yeah, but like outside of like one shots and stuff, yeah.
So honestly, it's like, fuck, it was super intense. It was super intense. But I'm so happy with how it went. It was balanced on a knife's edge, absolute knife's edge. Could like.
I think it's important for us at the same way to look around and be like, okay, yes, it went in his favor and like things happen, but if Teethan rolled well, then that would have gone very differently.
If Teethan, honestly, even in those last few turns, if Teethan had just been able to stay up long enough to summon his lands, because like those last two times he didn't even get an attack off, he just bounced up and down.
Yeah.
Because I was like, okay, fuck this, Teethan summoning the lands. Part of his attack.
But also, there was like 4 attacks he had in a row, he missed all of them. If he had made just 3 of them, then it... Like,
even one, really, that Sonic Resonance would have gone through.
Which is, I'm curious actually, what is Teethan's to hit modifier?
It is plus 12.
Okay, so it's good. Like
I did not roll above 10 on Teethan. For like 3 turns, I didn't roll above 10.
That's fucked. That's fucked. He played it very well, Marek as well. Like, or you played him.
I tried to do well, but Teethan also, I felt like I played Teethan. I think I did him a little dirty, but I was just so paranoid about not letting you guys out of his radius. I was like, Teethan.
Yes.
Teethan could have done more if he had let you guys out of his radius.
I wouldn't have won that if it wasn't for Teethan and his Aura of Protection.
Yeah, because plus 5 to all your saves.
It's because
that saves Amani. That saves so many people.
It saved all of my deck saves against those fireballs. The fact that I was able to keep on just saving them, it was Teethan. I would have failed.
God, I felt so mean, but so like the 3 fireballs.
3 back-to-back 5 with Des. Okay, Des. That was fucked. I don't care what you say. That was fucked. That was genuinely just disgusting.
I had to blow through all of his slots to do them, but it was the most efficient thing. You cannot deny it was the most efficient thing.
Honestly, in that fight there, it was very much the case of if you went down, you were left for dead. Like it was like you couldn't.
No, you needed some. But you know, it's actually cool because I had to do all of that. I couldn't do any of Mercestial's. I was going to defile healing, but I couldn't.
Thank God you didn't. Also, I kind of wish, although it wouldn't have fit in narratively necessarily, but I kind of wish I had started to use the Psionic Resonances earlier to burn through his legendary resistances, because then the other part of it, in terms of gaining healing from their damage or whatever it is, gaining healing from their healing, I think it is.
Yeah.
That would have been amazing against Marek. Because every time he healed, I would have healed.
No, I think Psionic Resonance is he takes damage equal to healing you get.
Is that it?
Yeah, so half of the healing you get is damage he takes.
Right, okay. Which still would have been really fucking interesting, because I had like...
Actually, did we use that ability in the end when Mercestial gave you your heal there at the end? That might have been the difference. I don't know if we counted that.
I don't think he had failed all of his legendary resistances by that.
Oh no, he had not. No, he hadn't. He had not gotten tethered.
I wish I had more ways to just burn through legendary resistances faster. Like,
look, I wish you had a party that did that. But you got to like 65 stars, isn't it?
Yeah. Yes, 65 stars.
You're just what, 20 stars away, and your Psionic Resonance goes up to 20d8.
Yep.
Like your Psionic Resonance will damage will double, but there's some bad. 85 stars is both great and awful.
Oh Jesus! What?
Like you double your Psionic Resonance damage, but think of the thing that outweighs that.
Okay, I'm curious. No, I'm genuinely curious. Does that sound?
Well, like everything so far you've gotten has been like the bits I hit you with were minor madnesses.
Yeah, minor madnesses.
85 stars is the first major madness.
Oh, what table are you using for Major Madness?
I've made my own.
Can you share just a few of them for stream? Like a few of the potential options.
Oh, I don't know if I should. Some of them, I'll give you like one of the worst ones is, so you know the spells that say you can heal, like you target a willing creature?
Yes.
Your paranoia for your allies becomes so much you cannot be considered a willing creature.
Shit, okay.
That's one of the pretty bad ones, because when you think of like the mechanical like things, it's like haste, like any like buffs, it's a willing creature. Like teleporting you enough to however many willing creatures. You would be rolling against that. Like, the paranoia runs deep. Major madnesses will mechanically fuck you as well. This has always been the theme of the shards, that they get harsher on you the entire time, and that's not gonna get better with the more stars you get.
I'm concerned about reaching stars now. Like, I am very concerned.
You blew through a few thresholds. Like, you lost con. With that -2 con, you lost 15 HP.
Wasn't it -1 con?
-2 con, -1 wisdom, my guy.
-2 con, -1 wisdom. Okay, I need to change that.
You hadn't taken
-1.
No, -2 -1.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
It's rough. It's really rough.
That sucks, man. I'm missing 15 HP now. Come on. Damn it.
No, like you're visibly frailer now.
Look, you say visibly frailer, but I still have like 14 con.
16 to 14. It's still a hit because proficiency and saving throws. Like, it's gonna. Like.
Yeah. Oh, fucking hell, that's.
It's rough. It's really rough.
So 100. Look, still got decent HP.
What do you want?
However, 129.
That's not bad.
It's not bad. However, it boosted my intelligence. My AC's gone up.
Yeah. Your mind is getting sharper for this and almost pulling back your physical form. Yeah. And your judgment is also being impaired with your wisdom being hit by -1.
Yeah. So, oh man, this is creating a really interesting way to have to, because we've been talking a lot about it recently about like character builds and stuff like that. It's a very interesting way to have to like build a character now with all these negatives and malices coming into effect. That's a bit unexpected on the fly.
Yeah, a lot of boons and banes. Yeah, like you have a 24 intelligence now.
Yes, I have a +7 to my intelligence.
There's a cracked intelligence.
Look, Calacindia canonically is just a referent, 100% of the time.
Look, I think the highest that your int can get with shards is like 28.
Shit, okay.
I don't think you want it to get to 28 with the shards.
I don't want it to get to 28. I'm terrified of that, but...
Look, realistically, that was the second hardest fight of the entire campaign.
Yeah. And the fact that I gained...
30...
40?
40? 40 stars.
40 stars for the second hardest fight of the game? That's not bad. That's not bad. I'll take that trade. You know what? I'll take that trade.
You know, I've told you before that I haven't told you what the worst one is, but I haven't told you the star number that's required. But you know the worst one is your soul is now bound to the existence of these shards. You can no longer return from the dead.
Yes. I am terrified.
And I refuse to tell you the number that's at.
Well, I'm scared this because we die a lot.
Yeah, when I tell you that happens, you're going to have to seriously stress to people, you can't let me go down. Because I don't come back from this.
I'm scared. I'm terrified of that, Des. Like,
you know, it'd be worse if I didn't tell you when that threshold was hit.
That would be worse, Des.
Imagine the trauma. It's like I let the ritual happen, then I go, Calacindia, over the past months and years, your soul has become so intrinsically linked to the shards of the dying god. You sacrifice so much of yourself that your soul's not really recognizable as your own anymore, and therefore cannot return with this ritual. It would be...
Look, it would suck. But I'm curious, like, what the party would do in that case. If, like, someone like Zamani would try and almost bargain with the guiding light to try and...
Would he even be cognitioned enough?
Well, that's the thing. It depends. If that happens and I have, like, let's say, 3 shards at that stage, which is coming soon, actually, the 3rd shard, that's going to be a very different set of circumstances, because you're going to have a much more cognitive and aware...
If it's something that even would... Like, I suppose how you don't know how it's lured, but it could be like, what if it's your
True.
soul has
It
literally
could be-
fused with the guiding light and it can't be separated
Yeah.
anymore?
Yeah. Which is an interesting feat for Calicindia, I'm not gonna lie. Like that is
Interesting fate. Very interesting.
yeah.
I'm very curious though. What I would love, and this is just the morbid part of me. If you get to that threshold of stars, or even soon, I'd be very curious to see Cal write out a will.
It's come to my mind before. It has come to my mind.
I think next downtime we
Because-
get to, Calicindia probably will.
Well, Calicindia, the thing that's been on his mind that I've been thinking through as his character is for Calicindia, what happens to the shards? Should he die or should they
Bro, what happens to Ariel? Like,
what happens? Look, Ariel, he's not concerned about. He'll hand it on to Vocatil, and he'll hand it on, and he will see that they continue the original mission between Vocatil and Bruventir, that they continue with it. But it's the shards. The shards are what concerns him because he doesn't trust anyone enough to carry them on and to complete the task. He doesn't have anyone that.
Let's
can.
hope they're not like the Dragon Balls and you die and they scatter.
Exactly, that's the thing. He doesn't know what happens, so he's terrified though if they do scatter. But he's also terrified of what will happen if they stay with him. If he dies and they just like emerge out of his body, who's going to try and claim them? What's going to happen to them?
Who would you
can
want
he
to claim them?
at this stage? He has an idea, and I don't know if I should say it to you.
You should say it to me. I'm the DM. I need to know these plans.
Okay, basically, Calicindia's current thoughts. I'm saying this live on stream. This is great. I'm just voicing. But yeah, Calicindia's current thoughts is essentially if he dies, or if the shards, something happens to him, essentially shards leave his body and they stay in one spot, he's going to get Xerxes to gather them up and then hold them for the next person to come through, the next prophet, the next person on his position to be able to claim them and hold them for that person.
Would have Xerxes have 4 shards?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's dangerous. It's a lot of power.
He would have 4 shards, but he's seen enough of Xerxes, and he knows that he stole and he kept the secret of one of the shards, like of Ascension, because he saw how powerful and how easily it could be misused. The fact he did that, when he could have so easily misused it for his own gain.
Okay. I think you one last question, and then we'll get to our homebrewing.
Yeah.
Would you not relinquish them to the Eye of Ruin?
That depends upon if he can. This is the issue though. So he doesn't know how easy it is for him to be able to transmit things to the Eye of Ruin, and how easy it is for the Eye of Ruin just to come meet him, type of thing. Because
Fair.
ideally the Eye of Ruin would be his number one, but he just doesn't know. So he's always thinking if he could maybe get Xerxes to give it to the Eye of Ruin almost, to hand it over. But the Eye of Ruin, it's like top, but he doesn't know how easy it would be for that to take place. So it's something I hope doesn't come to pass, but
Not same.
yeah, absolutely.
It's
But
an
yes,
interesting thought process. But yes, let's get to our world building.
Yes.
Or not world building, to our homebrewing.
Great terminology here.
Yeah.
So our homebrewing today, we're going back to homebrewing our races. Well, the lineages of the world. What do we call them? We call them
The Ancestries. The Ancestries. Is what we're going
Ancestries.
with, yeah.
Yes, the Ancestries of Quenthos.
Exactly.
We're going through and reflavoring them stat-wise.
More than even just reflavoring, we're restarting out a fair few of these bad boys. We're kind of looking at what's what, and we are gonna
flavoring them for the history of Quenthos. And
flavoring from the history and getting them
Ancestries.
mechanically different to the point where we could put this out as a supplement if we so wished for these in our setting. So that means both using different names if it's something we so wish, and different mechanical boons for their lineage. Last we left off, we got through Goliath, we got through Loxodon, Leonin, and
Well, actually,
Ravenfolk.
we just reached Goliath. We hadn't done.
Yes, sorry, we did not finish it. We did Loxodon, Leonin, and Ravenfolk. Made our own versions.
Mhm.
What we were going to start, but we didn't really have enough time, was the Goliath, which is look, it's a task to go through for sure.
Yes.
And I'm very eager to do it. So
Yeah, so let me just take you a second to pull up Goliaths here.
that's a
But
good
yeah, I
idea.
think one of the key differences that we need to sort of really think about statting out is obviously Goliaths in the generic, Forgotten Realms stats that they're made for. It's very much towards like being mountainous folk, being on like the peaks of mountains and stuff like that, which in Quenthos they're not. Um,
Okay.
so I think in terms of like if you look at the Goliath's features, I think the natural athlete is fine. The stone's endurance I think is great.
See, I would actually
I
take
think
out
the
the natural
power.
athlete, and I would be like rugged survival and get proficiency in survival because they survive in really harsh conditions.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Is that the mountain born ability? I like the resistance to cold, but we definitely cut the high altitude.
Yeah, we could do that.
And I was just going to combine the resistance to cold with the initially the athletic, but you can combine the resistance to cold with the survival and just have it be like frozen north or like something like that.
Yeah, the frigid north. Yeah.
Frigid north, yeah.
Powerful build, absolutely.
Mhm.
Height. I like the. I would say though, Um. I would let them count their size category as one size larger for sake of carrying stuff for their
Mhm.
um
I think powerful build is fine. Honestly, I think that still works.
yeah, I'd keep that for
Um,
sure.
I think that and Stone's endurance we keep. Um,
We reflavor we couldn't keep Stone's endurance. It's not SRD, so we wouldn't be able to keep it.
right. I think that we keep something like it though, something to reflect the endurance, the constitution of Goliaths.
You know
Um,
what I'd like is like an ancestral rage where it's like they can give themselves like a scaling temp HP as a bonus action, like they can throw themselves into a fit of anger and
okay.
literally give themselves like I don't know temp HP equal to their level plus con modifier. Maybe
Like once you could
once
do it
per
like
day,
once a
once per long.
or or like you could do it like as many times equal to proficiency modifier maybe, or like
Temp
a
HP is
constitution modifier.
strong.
It is strong. It is strong.
Hey, Faded, nice. Thank you
Um,
for the follow. That's super cool of you. Happy to have you here. We're doing a bit of homebrew today.
yeah.
If you've got ideas of stuff that you think Goliaths should have that they don't innately have, or we're reflavoring some of them and just making our own versions that doesn't use any innate abilities, so we'd be happy to hear your thoughts and happy to have you here.
Mountain born. Not mountain born. Sorry, that's stones. Stone. I actually wrote stoned endurance. Yeah, actually, there's massive there.
Look, Stoner's endurance, they just have a proficiency in nature.
Um. Okay. So
Because like also that doesn't really like it scales a little the stone's endurance, but not really. But if we just had it be like level plus con modifier, minimum one con modifier by the way,
yeah.
we could have because that like at level 20 that would be like max 25 temp HP, which is kind of cool.
hmm How are you going, Fate of the Dice? How is your day going? Good to have you here. Okay, so let's just write this down. Do you have a name for it, or we could call it?
Um, I don't have a name for it. It's something
I was
because
even thinking of like something like giant. I don't know, not like giant born or like
we could have
blood,
Jotun
but, like,
blood.
something Jotun. That's it, Jotun blood.
'Cause these are quite literally meant to be like Hapions.
So what does this
Well,
work
not
as? Like,
Hapions, but
can you
Hapions.
just, can
So
you just read this
once per
original?
long rest, or maybe we could make proficiency bonus times.
Or
You
short
can
rest even. Maybe
once
short
per
rest?
yeah, make it once per short rest.
Yeah.
You can gain temp HP equal to your level plus con modifier.
Perfect.
I'm actually curious because I know Shifter gets something similar. I'm curious how they mechanic it out.
Yeah, one of their shifted form.
Yeah, so I kind of wanted to be a little bit more tank oriented. Yeah, they get level plus con modifier once per short or long rest. Yeah, it's
Okay,
bonus
okay.
action, basic transformation. Last 1 minute. and you gain the benefits of the shift or subrace. So I suppose
Right.
do they? No, they already get resistances, and so I don't think they need more.
I don't think they need anything else, honestly. I'm quite happy with that, as we very much just done like a 1-for-1 swap with Stone's Endurance with Yacht and Blood, and then Mountain Born and Natural Athlete have been rolled into.
Thank you for the bit. That's very cool of you, Fate of the Dice. Thank you for 1 bit.
Thank you. Look,
hope your day continues to go okay. We very much appreciate it. Thank you.
But yeah, I think that's good. I don't think we necessarily need to change anything.
Well, I don't think anything else would be like copyright, kind of, if you get me. I don't think anything. Like...
Yeah.
Also, name wise, are you happy with Jotunkin? Because it's not really Jotunkin.
It's not really, but at the same time,
I feel like people would call them that.
Is this a name that they gave themselves, or is it a name someone gave them?
I feel like it's a name someone gave them.
Right, it's a name that someone gave them, probably humanity from the south type of thing. I feel like that works. I was gonna say they probably wouldn't give themselves that name because of their hatred for Jotuns.
Yeah.
But Des, do you just want to go into a little bit about what Goliaths are in our world? Because we've been talking about it, but
yeah. So in our world, so Goliaths, not really name appropriate, but they're half giants. They're a subset of obviously probably originated from like humans or something, but with intermingling with giants came about as a one of the races of our setting, and they often live in the frigid northern expanse. And then during the time of the kind of the prequel to the 300-year war with the Jotuns, they were the first ones to kind of get hit, and they got hit hard, and they got sent to labor camps, and they got sent to the mines because they refused to kind of bend the knee, as it were, to the giants. So they're of giant lineage. They're pretty hardy. They're pretty strong. A lot of them took up home in Favendel. Like the Fist of the Mountain is literally a Goliath, or
yes,
a giantkin.
Which is I've always had in my mind. There's like a split. Like you have a lot more of the ones that cling to the old ways still live up like near Bellerin, but then like a lot of the new ones wanting to sort of become part of the new world, going down towards Favendel. Like there's a bit of
you know what's even more interesting? I reckon some of the giantkin, the Jotunkin, would have some reverence for, unbeknownst to them, the Divine Observer. They follow the culture of giants.
Particularly those up in Bellerin, as opposed to, because Favendel is like very much the, like might makes right. Yeah. What's their attitude towards Ascended though?
Attitudes. I mean, I think there's also that split.
Well, because there's not a Goliath. Jotunkin. Ascended.
There is. I believe Hickenir is a Goliath. If we go back to and check the check the VOD of the thing, I believe I described.
I'm on it.
I don't think it's in the world envelope. I believe it was in the one shot.
Okay.
It's either Hickenir or no. Actually, you know what? I think it's not Hickenir. It might be
Bison.
Bison, yeah, Bison is a Goliath. I'm pretty sure.
Look, if he's not, then he is not.
I'm 99% sure Bison is because he's from Bellerin.
Okay.
Yeah, I think him and Hickenir are. I believe. I have to go back and check now. This is like deep lore to find because the pre-ascended race of each of the ascended gods matters very little to most of them. Other than like Xerxes, people kind of like he is seen as a tiefling god just because there is no because of how harsh the tieflings have it.
Mm-hmm.
One thing there is none of is Ravenfolk god. I'm 99% sure.
No, there's none. At least not to my knowledge.
I should really go out and make a list for all of them and make who's what where of the ascended. But yeah, most numbers are either in Favendel or Bellerin.
Yeah.
Kind of subset cultures, which we can actually work on sub races if we really wanted.
I think probably maybe something towards the end.
Yeah. My music has stopped.
I do think Goliaths,
I'm still listening.
I do think Goliaths are actually a good race to have. sub races.
Yeah, I would like make a note there. I want to do sub races for like Southland versus Frigid North. Because I think that could be cool. I think that could be really cool. But also, when you look at like giant, like Goliaths as an innate thing, they don't really get fuck all with their race. They're one of these races that like they feel like they'd lost the power creep when it started happening.
Yes. Well, what book did Goliaths come out in, actually?
The Elemental Evil's Companion. And then got published.
I keep forgetting that's a fucking book. I keep forgetting that is...
Yeah, it wasn't even a book. It was like a booklet. It was like a UA that got confirmed, but not really. And then I think they got thrown into Volos after that got made official. Like, you look at Volos, a lot of the stuff in that is mid. Yeah. It's kind of mid.
Hang on. In Monsters of the Multiverse, there's a new version of Goliath, apparently, does.
Well, we definitely can't use anything from that.
So I'm actually curious. They've changed the stone's endurance, so you can use it a number of times equal to the proficiency modifier.
If we're making sub races, I don't want to do that with our thing.
Yeah. And the other ability is proficiency in athletics. Oh, and they've just rolled the athletics and the carrying capacity, so it's not massive. Okay. It's kind of interesting. In terms of the ability score increases, you can increase one score by 2 and increase a different score by 1, or increase 3 different scores by 1.
That's just the new wording Wizards use for everything. That is just that's like the blanket statement you would tack onto everything's ability score increase.
Right. Okay. Interesting.
Which also we haven't done any suggested ability scores so far for ours. I think we probably would, and then we would say, however, you do not need to take these.
Yeah, 100%. Which is something I would like to go through actually eventually and do like recommended ASIs if you do play with those rules. But yeah, so looking back over this, is there anything else we want to touch on with them? I like the new ability we put in. I like the Jotun's Blood.
Yeah, I do quite like. I can already think of an idea for the Frigid North sub-racial ability, which would be something along the lines of once amount of proficiency times amount of times per day equal to your proficiency bonus. It could be called like tested by magic. You, as a reaction, you can grant yourself advantage on any saving throw against a spell.
Ooh, okay, I like that. Yeah.
But I think we need It's cool. It's a good idea.
It is a good idea.
It's also actionable, which is what I like.
So, do we want to move on to the next one?
Yeah, we'll tackle things that we want sub races for at the end.
Yeah. So the next is we have Alicet.
So they're very centaur, and they're very fucking kind of like deer centaur.
Yes, deer centaur. Yeah, essentially, yeah. So in terms of what do they get? Now this one here is well people want to wear. It's from Cobalt Press. So
it is, yeah. So it's
not a 5. It's not a Wizards of the Coast.
No. So I'm gonna try to open up my Roll20. I can't actually view what their racial stuff is.
So in terms of what they get, things that stand out, they move 40 feet. Interesting. Move 40 feet. They get dark vision within 60 feet. Proficiency in spears and short bows. Alicet weapon training. Light hooves. You have proficiency in stealth.
Don't say that to AJ.
Quadruped. Fuck's sake. Quadruped. That's just like, how about like stairs and ladders being difficult terrain. Wood frames.
Look, honestly, just me. I hate going up ladders.
Honestly, same. Fuck ladders, man. Who invented them? Shame on you.
So yeah, age. I do like them being really old. I like them to be like that mystery, because that's something I've kind of gone as well. Is like, you don't know how old an Alicet really is, other than by the prongs of their horns.
So do you think older than 100 then?
Well, in our setting, they have been able to go up to like 400.
So like, let's just say like you can live up to upwards to around 400. Do you want to change the maturity then in terms of being a bit longer?
Actually, no, I'm incorrect. So, it is 10. One prong per 10 years is what we've done. So we've gone close to 200. I would up it to 200 because in our setting, the way I've always described them is they're centaurs, but the human part is elf and the horse part is deer.
Yes.
So like,
yes.
I want these to feel like they are literally like some of the woad elves that fled into the woad and were more like embraced by it is the way I want to kind of like.
Oh, okay. So yeah, that's interesting. So, ooh. So they're essentially like maybe like the first elves that.
I think they're a lineage of
woad.
that, yeah. Because as we know with the elves, they kind of split into 3 subsects, like woad elves, prescient elves, and starless elves.
All traitors bar starless though. Like there's
All
starless
traitor.
and then there's traitor elves. Let's keep it real here. Come on.
That's some dangerous language if you want to keep your star elf status.
Like this is me, Des. This isn't Calicindia. This is me.
Okay. Based. But no, so I think there's a lot of like I want to revisit all of their lore. I think this is one of the big ones I want to change the lore, like the innate lore that we have. Because I like the idea that this was like the first ones that entered the world. But I suppose that brings up issues with the woad elves then. How do we do that if Alicent were like more important culturally?
I'm just looking at the world app, but we don't really have much up there about history. So
We don't. So I kind of want to make a lot of history on this.
I'm curious, the woad elves. That's a bit annoying, hey?
Yeah, because you could have them be like the first elves that entered the woad. And I suppose no, you could have them the first elves who worshipped the woad. That could be how you did it. As a blessing, they became able to traverse their new homeland more easily. Then we gotta have woad elves who didn't start worshipping the woad. Although that's I suppose. I'm just trying to think. Am I contradicting any of my previous lore?
Well, then you have to ask yourself the question: is it possible for woad elves to become Alicent? Is that something they look up towards, or is that something in the past?
No,
that's also.
Yeah. Oh,
you know what I'm saying, Des? You know what I'm saying? Like, it does offer that question then.
It does offer that question, which is an interesting question.
So I'm curious, in terms of the old lore, what was the history of Alicent? Did you have in terms of much in the way of like
they were just I'll be honest, I did not have that much.
Okay.
Like they were kind of fey creatures, kind of like nymphs, like thought about that there was not like. Unless we just predate this, and maybe they were there with the hags. Maybe these predates. Maybe these are creatures from Vitrizion that like these didn't come with a god because they don't worship the old god, and that makes sense. Maybe that these beings like they just look elvish because like that's kind of the innate model of what humanity looked like in the beginning. Like, what if they predate with the hags?
So, very, very, very deep lore here, Des. Very deep lore here. So, Star Elves, created by the gods. You know that. Were they created by the gods on their home planet, or was it only until when they arrived at Quenthos?
It was only when they arrived at Quenthos and wanted to be gods.
Right. Because that was my question.
No, they needed something to worship them.
Yeah.
They basically wanted to play The Sims.
Yeah, they wanted to give them purpose, you know?
They needed something to fill the time. And I don't know about you. If you boot up The Sims, I won't see you for 6 days.
Yeah, look. Honestly, then, just playing SimCity as well, like, damn. Okay. Then I'm a bit of a tricky spot with their lore, because I was going to suggest that they, like, came from that planet, like, they were elves on that planet that went through the road type of shit. Or else you could have them as more sort of, like, Fae.
No, see, kind of what I want to go is, because Feywild is, like, that's all cool and good. But I've talked about, like, the original inhabitants of Quenthos before the gods came. The giants, the hags, but obviously I kind of need more than that. So I can go the Alicent. And they look similar to elves, but it's not that similar.
Okay. So I'm just curious. Is there something that's sort of distinctive about the way hags look in Quenthos, or is it just?
But not like they're bipedal, but like you know, like distinctive how? Like I suppose what's
I don't know, like something that we could model that we could use to be like Alice said, look.
Let me look up a red hag because that's kind of what we've seen. That's like the original protector. Okay, apparently it doesn't want to come up when I type that in.
Honestly, they kind of look like hobgoblins.
They kind of look like hobgoblins, yeah. Yeah, they kind of do, but it'd be like sharp features, very beautiful.
Not gonna lie though, Des, that kind of just gives me an idea for hobgoblins, if anything, origin-wise.
Well, I know the hobgoblin origins is they were one of the gods that died in the War of the Gods. All goblinoids.
Oh, okay.
Same as orcs.
So I wasn't sure if all goblinoids were the same type of thing, or if like hobgoblins were like created between like, goblins that went off with like a red hag or something.
Actually, that's what we'll do. That's what we'll do. Hobgoblins will be a subsect.
Because as we know, hobgoblins are very much
Raph? Buddy?
very linked to the woad, probably even
okay, you just said all of that all at once because you froze.
Yeah, it froze at me.
But no, I really like that. Like a foot in each world. Hobgoblins were like the first ones that like goblins and bugbears settled with the.
Well, because the goblinoids I imagine came over with the guiding light still, right?
Yeah, they did.
So the first ones of goblinoids to enter the woad were obviously they were lost. They were a bit, all over the place. And then they met with a red hag that sort of introduced them and made a pact. They made a pact with this red hag of that fane of the woad, and then that changed them. They changed them into being the image, and that's how they became like the first goblinoids in the woad.
Okay, but what about bugbears? Do we just have them be standard? They can't. It was goblins and bugbears, but hobgoblin is literally like. It's considered like the long version is just it's a hag goblin. Hobgoblin.
It's like a hag goblin. Yeah, hag goblin. I kind of like that. We're getting ahead of ourselves.
We are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 species away from that. But yeah, so we can have them be like sharp things. I like that they were some of the original settlers, especially like around the Yundav part. Like that was kind of like always their home.
So you think in terms of Alicid with the original?
I think they're among them.
Elves in that case? Like
no, I don't even think they're elves. I think they're elves or something with gosmites. They look similar to elves.
Yes.
But they have antlers and they have sharp feet. Like I suppose the only way that you can even say they look similar to elves is to say they have sharp features and pointed ears, but so do hags.
Oh. Yeah. So one of the first races on Quenthos.
One of the original races of Quenthos.
Yes. All right, perfect. So in terms of stats wise, what did we want to change around for?
Okay, so what we have for them. So let me pull that back. I like them having good movement speed.
I like the good movement speed. Proficiency and stealth, I think we could potentially change.
Yeah, I don't really like that all that much. Age, I think that's good, but I'd say we like the live well beyond 100 years, but it's just unknown how old they can become. I like that.
Yeah.
The size, yeah, that's all fine. Speed, I'd almost make them quicker.
Okay, so like 45 feet?
Maybe, what's Centaur? Centaur's like 50 feet, isn't it?
Good question.
40 feet, okay. Yeah, we'll give them 40 feet. One thing I would like to give them is, instead of stealth, I would like, I don't know what I'd word it, or I don't know if they get
Some sort
this
of
innately,
magic?
but some sort of like, no, not even, well, maybe we give them magic, maybe we do sub races, but I would like them to ignore difficult terrain in forests. Natural difficult terrain in forests.
Okay.
Do they
Well,
get
they've
that?
kind of, where is it? They've got the ability where Woodfriend, when you're in a forest, you leave no tracks and can immediately automatically discern true north.
So I think we just
Then
tack
he
that
can
on, they ignore difficult terrain. So we make it something else, and we give them no difficult terrain, we take away their proficiency in stealth.
To include
Proficiency.
what did you,
Ignoring difficult terrain in forests. Like natural difficult terrain in forests, so like roots and brambles, or like, yeah, stuff like that.
to ignore non-magical. Perfect. All right, so we've got that down. I don't think I necessarily want to change anything else. I think, if anything, I want to add sub races to them.
Yeah, do you want sub races or not?
I think we can add sub races to Alicids. So I think it'd be quite interesting to do like more of a boar, like sage type of Alicid.
Oh, I like that. We could even like druidic stuff. We could go scout and sage kind of vibe.
Yeah, you go like soundscapes, but I was even thinking like, because obviously you don't want to do it too like it's more so based upon the ancestry and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
I was thinking even one that's more like a Yundav, like one from that part.
Oh, we could do Vethelier and Taurus.
Yeah, exactly. Do a Vethelier one, which is much more of a mage, diplomatic, open, and then the other one which is much more of a warlike type of Alicid, much more. Well, not necessarily warlike, but maybe more scouty and rogue-esque.
Okay. So, do we need anything else innately for the stat that they have now? Maybe we give them the quadruped thing still, because I like that. We give them quadruped, dark vision, and then we'll make sub races to give
Also,
like one or two things each.
What is their new name now? It is.
I said we have Hinderthil.
Hinderthil. Which is, yeah. Do we want to change? Actually, no. You know what? We change that later. I think we should change that later.
Change what later? Use your words.
Their name.
Okay.
Their name. Because I was talking about their name. I was talking about their name, so change that later. But yeah, I think we should change the name later. Simply because if they would have named themselves, I think. Because as opposed to the elves naming them, they had their own name if they were one of the original inhabitants.
No, I'm curious. Is an Alicid not just a mythological name?
No.
Yeah, they're of Greek mythology. Alicid is a myth.
We want to see.
There were nymphs. I mean, we can keep it if we want, but it's not a copyrightable name.
Not a copyrightable name. I'm almost tempted to keep it because I don't know. I just feel like the other. Otherwise, I think it's. I don't know. I think we keep it for now. Just Alicid.
Okay. Yeah, I'm happy with it being different. Like Goliath obviously isn't really a copyrightable name by that same logic either, but I just like half giant more.
Sure. Yeah. I don't know. Like once again, I just feel like it represents the world a bit better.
Yeah, maybe if we have a unique name rather than maybe.
Unless we think of like a Woad name, like in terms of like a Woad language name, like something like less Elven.
Yeah, well, Hinderthil doesn't work because that's very Elven.
Yeah. So I think we sit on that for now, but otherwise, I'm pretty happy with how that looks.
Okay, well, do you want to do the sub races now, or are we doing everything and then coming back to sub races?
I think do everything and then come back to sub races.
Okay, I can do that.
Now, Pliny. That's the next one.
I think that's that's people who were like humans met with dryads. I think it's literally like a half dryad.
Yeah, that's very much the notion I was going to have with them. So basically, like, I imagine formed from humans that entered into the world type of thing.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's some
Do you want to give them a new name, or
I think we could just change it to Dryadkin, and Piney is more like the common name because they're literally just like piney.
so Dragon? Okay, yeah, I like that.
Okay, so hear me out. I've been kind of bashing some like bashing some names together just to butcher an Alisad name together. So if you kind of take the Silva, Latin for forest, and the Lith, like Greek for magic, you can kind of make an idea of like magical forest kind of name with the like using a very feminine like suffix of itha. So you can go Silvalitha. Silvalitha? I'll show you how I type it. I mean,
Okay.
so like it feels magical. It doesn't feel elvishy. It kind of feels old wordy because it's got that Latin core.
Silvalitha. Okay, I don't hate that. I don't hate that.
I don't hate it.
I don't hate that.
I don't
I
hate it
like
either.
it.
It's something,
So,
I think.
so take out Hinderfil.
Yeah, it also doesn't have any of the endings that are like the elvish suffixes. Suffi? I don't know what's the plural of suffixes.
Good question.
But it doesn't kind of have those typical suffix we would be using anything so far. Like it's all ithil or kin or corvathil or pratari. Suffixes.
Yeah.
Suffixes.
Suffi.
Suffixes. How are you, Maddie? How are you today? How are we feeling? We're still on our Cractus crows idea, but we're past the crows. We're on to the Alisad. Hello, hello.
All right. So going back to it. So
Yeah, so delete the hint.
no more Hinderfil. Yeah, but so we got Piney, we Dryadkin. I quite like that as their name.
Yeah, because like then you could almost look at like so it kind of hobgoblin is like hag and goblin. Dryadkin is literally dryad kin, which and then we've got the Jotunkin. Like it's almost like the new races are very easy, like Ravenkin,
Yes.
Jotunkin. Like they have like an easy name for them. But what does Piney innately get in the one we use is the next question.
Quite a lot of interesting things. So my Margrave Within, which first doesn't really kind of work. I think we change it to Woad Within, and that makes
Yeah, we can literally take that almost like a
which gives so you can get your sustenance, like your daily amount of food, by standing in sunlight for 30 minutes, which is kind of cool. And you have advantage and saving throws against poison, and you have resistance against poison damage.
mixing Latin and Greek. Look, it made a word that kind of if you bash them together, it didn't sound bad. Also, every
Doesn't
DM
sound
out there is
terrible.
guilty if they say they haven't bastardized Latin and Greek to try and make cool names. It's just what we do.
Woad Without, the next abilities is very much like changes the look.
Yeah, I don't want to lose those, if you get me.
Yeah. So the next ability, which roots, proficiency in nature and survival. I think that makes sense to me.
You know what's funny? I know I was arguing for Loxodon to not have natural AC, but I almost would argue that Piney should by their wood bark skin, like the wood skin ability spell.
Yes.
Is that bark skin is what I'm thinking of. But I know I was literally arguing this last week.
You were literally arguing that last week. I don't hate it either, but that's the thing. I'm not a huge I don't dislike natural AC. Um,
I don't dislike it, but it's not if we, especially if we went sub races. Also, it's just a nerdy thing from the classical words nerds for mixing those two. It's such a pet peeve with me. It is, I get that, but you can make some really beautiful sounding words with them. I apologize for hitting your pet peeve though.
um, so actually, I'm just breaking it down. They don't really get a whole lot.
No, and I'm arguing for them to have a natural AC this time because the bark on their skin makes me. Oh, you're mocking them. Okay,
Oh, I'm
okay,
mocking them?
okay. We're better then. We're better.
Keep mocking, keep mocking.
Let's keep mocking them. Frick those guys. We'll bastardize as much language here as we want. Like, do we want to do sub races with the Dryadkin?
Not necessarily. I don't have anything on my mind instantly. Like,
Are you against them? Okay, what about this? Rather than them getting the how do I put this? Rather than getting an innate AC, what if they can cast Bark Skin at once they hit 5th level? Kind of like the way we give them a magic progression system similar to Tiefling, and we give them Bark Skin.
Okay. First of all, I don't hate that, but that just feels like very on the nose, given the bark skin.
I know, but it just feels right because like bark feels like their skin is literally bark. It feels like they should get more. But if we look at some of the abilities that like dryads get, like just as creatures, they get reclusive fey, they get tree bound, they are woodland magic, so they literally do like dryads as a creature. Like they can speak with plants and animals, they can teleport from one tree to another. They quite literally on their spellcasting list they get entangled, goodberry, bark skin, pass without trace, and shillelagh. So what if we give them? They also get at will druidcraft. So like
Okay. So if we're to go, so do you think
I'll show you the
to the natural progression of spells? Do you think spellcasting, like give them a
I'll show you this.
first
Here's what Dryad
second
get,
level?
just to put that in there. So you can kind of have a read. Like we can look to this for inspiration because they're literally meant to be part Dryad. Obviously, we don't give them advantage on magic because I don't like that.
Yeah, I think we give. You know what? Actually, I've got an idea. Give them Druidcraft as a cantrip, free cantrip, and then Bark Skin.
Yeah, and maybe Entangle.
I just think give them those two, and I think now I don't know if there's too much, but I think give them some way to speak with plants.
Well, that's literally like you could just have them speak with beasts and plants and try to communicate with beasts and plants as if they share language.
Do you think that's a bit too much, or
mechanically, why would it be?
Look, not really. I'm just trying to think. What level is speak with plants though? That's a 3rd level spell. You're giving them a 3rd level spell that they can just do innately.
Okay.
Which isn't really.
It's a really thematic one that I don't mind giving. So I'm just trying to check. So Tieflings get Hellish Rebuke as their 2nd level at 3rd level. So that we could give them 2 2nd level spells because that's what Tieflings get. They get that and then they get Darkness. They get Hellish Rebuke as a 2nd level spell and Darkness. So we can give them the cantrip at will Druidcraft. And then we could give them Bark Skin and Pass Without a Trace. Give them Bark Skin at level 5, give them Entangle, or give them Pass Without Trace at level 3.
Okay.
Thoughts?
I don't hate that. I think we could keep that actually. I think some sort of I do like the idea of giving them some innate spellcasting. Especially since a lot of the pioneers we've seen have all been we've seen a lot of pioneers that are just magic. So I think that's actually now I think maybe change the innate spellcasting to wisdom.
Yes. Okay. So what do you think? That feels fair. That feels fair. And we can make them once per short rest spells, or how do you feel about that? What's Tiefling get? It's once per long or once per short?
I'm fairly sure it's once per long. Yeah, it's once per long.
Okay, so we make that a once per long rest.
Yes. Yeah, once per long rest.
They can't get the tree stride. That's actually maybe they could.
No, I don't think so. I think that's a little bit. We're getting them innate spellcasting, speaking with plants, and
it's a 60-foot TP. Make it
60-foot TP.
If we give it to them, it's the only other thing they get. It's a once per short rest, and that's all they get now.
I think we give it to them if we were to take out something else. I don't think we just give it to them though. It's
so I suppose the third level we can give them bark skin, and then we just take this out, and then we give them. They don't get pass without trace, and they just get tree stride then.
I don't know. I don't think we give them tree stride.
You don't like it? Okay, it is a bit strong. It is a bit strong. I'll give you that.
Yeah.
We're keeping the woad within, woad without.
I think that we just take out the communicate with beast and just keep it communicate with plants.
Yeah, plants feels more accurate.
Language of the moment.
So I'll show you this. This is so there is a stat block in one of the Tales of the Old Margrave for pinies that have like different abilities. Like we saw there was a piney root walker, so there's force of nature. Extra D8 force damage, okay. Oh, but there's also verdant transformation. We could take that instead of bark skin. So that's one option.
So is this take this with it instead of
the spells? Give them cantrip and give them this instead of spells.
However, my only issue with this, with the verdant transformation, is that it's within the forest, within the Margrave.
We can take that bit out, to be fair.
So okay, I think you could choose between that and spellcasting. I think that's kind of cool little choice. I quite like that.
Choose between, we can make that a sub-race thing. There's also a creature called a piney root walker, which are like deeply affected by the magic of the Margrave or frost and woad.
I think we definitely take out the force of nature.
Yeah, no, I don't want that. But
the there's transformation. I think we can potentially work with.
So a piney root walker has these, which we could make these like subclasses, not subclasses, but like sub races. So there's one with the woods, while in the forest, the piney root walker can't be tracked. In addition, has advantage on dexterity stealth checks. I would like to keep that in, if we can figure a way to keep it in.
Okay.
Because I like that ability, personally. It's thematic.
So yeah, remove the innate spellcasting because we've already got that done.
Yes, sir.
But one with the wood, one with the forest piney root walker can't be tracked. In addition, the piney root walker has advantage on dexterity to hide the forest terrain. I don't hate that. I don't hate that.
Like realistically, being tracked. When is the last time you know a party that was tracked by somebody?
Yeah. An advantage on stealth in the forest terrain is niche, so I'm kind of happy with letting it.
It's like advantage on stealth at night, while flying.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, literally. Well, maybe a bit more useful with that. Like that is
depends on the campaign. That depends fully on the campaign, I will say.
That's true.
Because watch you play that piney, and I have you in a city-based crawler in the Ceruvian desert. Then you tell me it's niche.
Bastard Des.
Which I will say, the Raven folk, just going back to their abilities, do you know how good a Raven folk would be in Sathasa? Especially during the summer months when people are only out at night?
That's a good point.
Because it's too hot to go out during the day, so they can just fly around at night. Advantage.
So, how do we feel in terms of the innate spellcasting and the verb transformation?
I want to make them subclasses. I'm sorry. I know I keep doing subclasses, but I think that we can give one. We can call one the. We can literally call one a root walker if we want, and then we can give them the verdant transformation, and then we can call one the like. Like, what do you think? Do you like
you definitely
that?
can't give them both abilities. You definitely can't
No,
give them
no,
both.
no.
But it's the only way that I can feasibly see them is either giving them a choice between like take this ability or take this ability, or yeah, just make it subclasses.
Do you think the verdant transformation though is
in terms of the two? What is the key differences in the ancestry wise that would have led to these two sub races forming?
we could even have one be more aligned with dryads, which is the sub race one, and then one that's more aligned with ents.
Or I kind of had the idea in my mind, potentially, that the second one with verdant transformation is more of a pioneer that lives outside of like towns and civilization as such.
Oh, nomadic.
Like
so a nomadic pioneer versus
nomadic pioneer, like wild pioneer in that sense. Whereas the other one is much more like the respected leaders, like the Synapsis type of people. So
I think for verdant transformation, we have to make a bonus action to start the transformation. Then in each of your turns, you can choose to do something.
Okay. Yeah, agreed. As a bonus action.
The transformation lasts 1 minute. Make it like a shifter thing.
Action. As a bonus action, start of each of its turns. Pining. Choosing the following ways through it. Open flesh. Strong roots. The and transformation. As a bonus action. As a bonus, so you're just still doing it at the start of its turn?
So at the bonus,
as a bonus,
at start turn, and when it enters.
So at each one, so hang on. So just in terms of the bonus, as a bonus action, the dragon can enter a verdant transformation. At the start of each of its turns, and when it enters the verdant transformation, the dragon can choose one of the following ways for the forest to physically manifest through it. How long does it last for?
1 minute.
Okay, it lasts for a minute. And how many times can it be used? What's the limit on it?
I feel like it's a once per long rest ability, especially if the other spells are once per long rest. Either both sub races are once per long rest, or they're both once per short rest.
Can enter. I'm just doing this to my sake. Let's get that. Last 1 minute. Yeah, I think once per long rest. You can't. Alright. So yeah, I get innate spellcasting or that as the two core features. In that case, we can maybe flesh out the innate spellcasting a bit more once we reach it. I don't have.
I think maybe we give them proficiency as well, like giving them innate casting and then like proficiency with herbalist's tools.
Yeah. My only issue is that I suppose it's not. Those are some powerful.
Trace and Barksian is minimum AC of 16.
That's true.
Unless you want to do third level, we give them Pass Trace and Goodberry. Or we give them first, third, and fifth. So we can go. Which bullet point system is this using? I don't know.
I don't think it is currently using a bullet point system because you imported it
It's okay, I
directly
can fix
across.
it.
I can fix them.
Okay. But I think that good berry past that trace and bark skin.
Yeah, I like that. I like that. Perfect. I think we have the two sub races.
Do we want to give them proficiency with herbalism tools as well for that one?
Nah. I think we can review it again at the end.
Are we still get? Do they get any proficiencies? Is there anything we're forgetting?
I think we could give them both proficiency.
I think in the base we give them some form of proficiency because I think innately. Wait, they're meant to get dark vision as well. We let them keep the dark vision, and with the
yeah,
I think we let them both keep their proficiency in nature and survival.
Mm-hmm. Nature and survival.
Okay, I feel like we've got some good shit down here for them.
Mm-hmm.
I actually prefer our version a lot now.
I like it. It adds a bit more to it. The other one's a bit of a bare bones in terms of what they get.
The other one feels like it should have had a sub race on it.
Yes, yes. Yeah. Oh, I just saw what the next one is. The next one's going to be interesting because I have zero ideas for it, Des.
For Sonic.
For Sonic.
I
have no idea.
Part of me hates ever including them. I will say that.
Do we just remove? No, we can't remove them from the world.
I mean,
in the world already.
We can.
Look, for no reason whatsoever, Samuel just decided to like kill all Arena. They have just been removed. They're gone.
Part of me hates including them. I'm sorry. I know that, like, I was like, I'll give them. I would have rather include like a Barrakin or something.
I don't know what the fuck we do for them, Des. I have zero ideas for Arena. I'm not gonna lie. I just don't.
But let's look at what they get.
Okay, so what do they?
My problem is I don't even know how they came about. Unless I make them one of the original races, like the. Maybe that's it. Maybe they're just an original race like the Alicent.
Oh hey, let me hear this out though. What if they are like an awakened race of hedgehogs? That is literally their origin story. They are like raised by like someone within the world, like a hag or something, to be like a sentient race of hedgehogs. That is literally their origin story. They were once hedgehogs. Because I don't know. I just can't think of anything for them. So they move 25 feet, so they're slower, which is not Sonic of them whatsoever.
That is not.
They get dark vision. They have advantage and resistance against poison, which everyone seems to get nowadays. While you are grappling or you are being grappled, it takes 1d4 piercing damage. That's that shit. Proficiency in perception, and you have a burrowing speed, but only through earth and sand, not mud, ice, or rocks. That's kind of limiting. So overall, they're pretty shit.
They're not great.
There's not much that is going for them there.
I can see why no one's really. I know Jen played them in our short campaign, but I see why no one's wanted to play one.
Look, if you want dark vision and advantage and resistance against poison, there are so many other things that can give you that. Like, I don't know. I don't know. Part of me just wants to be like, let's leave them and come back to them because I'm just going to be stuck on these guys forever. I genuinely.
No, okay. So let's start with the lore because that's where we like, you know.
I mean, look, chat. If you have ideas for a race of hedgehog people, let us know. Let us know because we're stuck.
So I already have ideas. I do have ideas. I'm not quite as baffled as this as you are. I want them to be one of the original races of the WoD. Like this is a race because remember the WoD had an innate ability. I think the first time the WoD was kind of like because like it has an innate ability to revive things. I think it revived some of these like small critter folk that are like arena and such, and they got the sentience of the WoD. So I'm thinking they're kind of like one of the apex hunters of the underbrush. Like they're like pretty good in the dense areas. I do have an idea how to change their root thing. I'm thinking we give their spines much more like a hellish rebuke thing. So when a creature hits you with a melee attack, use a reaction to deal 1d4 piercing plus proficiency bonus, a number of times equal to proficiency bonus a day. Okay.
Yeah. Sure.
Then.
Okay. Because I'm just looking through the WoD Anvil section of them at the moment. Trace the history back, perhaps the furthest, to the time where the WoD covered the entirety of Quenthos.
Yeah, they're meant to be really old.
So they're right back at the start. Also, they claim.
Or so they claim.
But it looks very much as if like survivalists.
Yeah.
Like they very much hide, keep to themselves.
Yo, what if we gave them a rolling charge? What if we literally commit to the meme? Be memers. Rolling charge. You can use your action to curl into a ball and roll up to 20 feet in a straight line, dealing 1d6 plus proficiency bonus piercing damage to any creature you hit in the dash. Does not provoke opportunity attacks. Can't use it again until you finish short resistance. Because of your pines, you have resistance against piercing damage.
Okay, I feel like in order for that to really make sense, we have to revoke their movement speed of 25 feet.
Yeah, we let it be 30. Wait, no, because if their size category is small, their size category is small, so 25 feet makes sense.
Yeah, but if we want them to have an ability that emphasizes them moving fast, I feel like it does more to show them moving fast as a race.
I suppose, yeah, fast in comparison to their size.
Yeah. Which is my only thing. Like, it just doesn't to have the ability that's emphasizing speed and then to have them just move slow. I also know that look, I know it's a busted thing, but fairies small also move 30. And also the hair people as well, they also move 30 feet small.
To be on my desk, which is an issue.
So it's not like it's not unheard of for small races and stuff to be 30 feet of movement.
But what if we literally even just like they're literally like almost awakened hedgehogs. So like obviously we give them dark vision because they're burrowing. I want to keep their burrow speed. We'll make their burrow speed 25 feet.
Okay.
But hear me out on this as well for an extra proficiency, because people like they commonly see them as like a woodland critter. You have advantage on persuasion checks to make things think you're non-threatening. What?
Interesting. I feel like that's the direction I would almost. I'm unsure because I feel like they should go in one of two directions almost. In terms of like they should have either an ability to sort of hide as a defense or use their spines as a defense.
Well, we've got their Hellish Rebuke kind of style. Yeah.
Throw the cat.
Yep. There's a bed there, I promise.
So they have that.
So I'll write down what I'm thinking. So let's go with what we name it. Just put this down. Sorry, it is. It keeps asking me am I still listening to the music.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, I've got to move a cat because he wants to. Where did the soft blanket for you go? I had one up there. Where did it go?
Sorry, Ron. We're dealing with a case of cat.
We're dealing with a rowdy cat right now. Where you go? Come on, I got a blanket. No, I'm not chasing you. He just. Okay, so that's my idea. I don't want to give them magic because we've really focused Dryads and Alicent being kind of possible magics.
Yes. Well, also, I like the idea of Arena being very much like existing and sort of surviving by themselves, like out in the wilds, like a bit.
But the same thing, I want to go for prickly resistance. And then, what was my other one? The rolling charge. So, as an action.
I don't know if we keep rolling charge. That feels like a bit too much of a meme.
Okay, it's an option.
It feels a little bit too much of just going for the meme. So when do we get Quenthos Warforged? We actually kind of do have Quenthos Warforged already.
Hey Nate, how you doing? They're beginning, I think. They've just started being crafted over in Ojikir and Zarsan.
But we do actually have our own type, like kind of.
We have Ordinium.
Warforged with Ordinium, which isn't quite the same, but it's like more of a liquid metal people, which is kind of cool. So if you're curious about them, let us know.
Okay, so what about this? If we keep on line with their survivability, what if we get them really prickly ambush? So I'm thinking when you make a successful attack. What?
Ooh. I was going to say, question just quickly: are they still keeping their resistance and advantage against poison?
For now, no, because I've given them resistance to piercing.
Okay, cool.
But what I'm thinking is, when you hit a creature with a when you make a successful melee attack against creature, you can deal an additional 1d4 plus proficiency bonus piercing damage, and the creature must use an action to remove the quill or take an additional 1d4 piercing damage at the start of each of its turns. And you can use it a number of times equal to proficiency bonus. What do you think of that?
That feels like, would we replace prickly defense with that? Or
no, we give them prickly defense, prickly ambush, and prickly resistance. That's their thing. So if you wanna get access to the Liquid Metal Terminator race, you gotta access our Patreon for $5 a month. It was part of our D&D December push, where you got access to a bunch of cool sub races and subclasses. It's up there for $5 a month. Head over to the Patreon if you want to see it. Do you hate the prickly idea, the prickly approach?
I think it's just a bit too much. I think it's a bit too much of a similar.
Do you think prefer prickly defense or prickly ambush?
I think. Can you just write prickly ambush out for me so I can just read it?
Okay. Let me see how I go with it. So, when can also make these subclasses. Hey, get away from the dice! Get away from the dice! And you.
I mean, you could make it. I think Nate has maybe a point there. You could make it a choice between the two, but not necessarily a subclass. I don't think there's enough to create a whole subclass, but a choice between one of two abilities, I kind of like. You could put that in there.
damage. Creature must use action to quill, take and d4. Person start. It's there.
You know what, Des? I know that we've spoken about this, but you could almost make an argument for Arena having natural AC.
Less of an argument, but yes, I could also see it.
Yeah, yeah.
But if we're not doing it for the Dryads, we're not doing it for these.
Yeah.
I think it makes it a choice. Yeah, we can make it a choice between the two. We could have them linked to each other, and you can use one or the other.
Do they have any proficiencies? Right, they got proficiency in perception. Okay, cool. That's actually what I was going to suggest for them. Nice. I'm going to suggest proficiency in perception.
So,
there you go.
Nate, reading over that, do you prefer prickly ambush or prickly defense? There's also prickly resistance, which I've given them resistance to piercing damage because it feels right. I really like prickly ambush though because it fucks with an enemy's action economy, which is so good.
Mm-hmm.
Also, the bleed, and I like bleeds in 5e.
I do like that choice. I'm gonna say like
ambush is better. Ambush is better. We could take away the prickly defense altogether and just give it the prickly ambush. Because I really like the ambush ability. It seems strong.
My only issue with this is that there's not really much in there for someone playing a pioneer that's not melee.
Ah, fuck, you're right. I suppose that's why you could keep prickly defense in there, because that is good.
Which is why I like prickly defense. If you want to play like a spellcaster arena, take prickly defense. It gives you a bit of defense, a bit of like something.
Yeah, what if we combine them into the same thing and we make them prickly arsenal?
Okay.
Straight pierce resistance is too weak beyond level 4. Well, the prickly defense, I'm not. It doesn't get past magical piercing. Fair.
How about? So, do you think give it something else, Nate? Do you think give it something, or give it resistance to piercing, and then give it something else with that? Perhaps? Well,
the prickly defense could be the prickly defense could be part of the prickly resistance.
That's what I was going to suggest. Like prickly resistance is part of prickly defense.
Yeah,
so I'm saying prickly more times today than I think I have ever before in my life.
Yeah, look.
But yeah, how do you feel about that, Nate? Maybe combining.
Honestly, if we give them dark vision and then the proficiency in perception, I would be happy to full send what we have written there now. I don't mind. But honestly, I think we should replace prickly defense and prickly ambush with prickly arsenal, and you can use one or the other. But like, you can use your prickly arsenal. Defense should be reaction to shoot a quill on a range check. Do you mean the? Yeah, so prickly defense. Oh, so maybe we make that just a.
Just there, like,
we hit with attack within 30 feet, or 30 feet.
I mean, look, that's pretty fucking cool. But you've also maybe want to create a arena class that's just them shooting quills out and emphasizing that, because that just sounds.
Yeah, we make an arena monk next.
No, you make an arena warlock and you just steam the Eldritch Blast as just their quills firing out. That's fucking cool. I fucking like that.
When a creature hits you an attack within 30 feet, I'm thinking. Obviously, we can word that better, but still.
Yeah. I think give it a range. I think give it a range is cool.
30 feet.
Yeah.
Question. I want there to be enough of a difference, though, with the prickly ambush to have the bleed. I don't think you should get that from your prickly defense.
No, I don't think prickly defense should give the bleed, though.
God, we're saying prickly so many fucking times, right?
Prickly.
It doesn't sound like a word anymore.
Des, what even is prickly? What does it even mean?
Also, Nate, I'm using my phone as a camera now. Look at this unintentional upgrade because my camera decided to break at the start of the last session. Look at this. The resistance to non-magical piercing just becomes useless if you want to run a barb. So do you think we should give them resistance to poison instead? Because that's what they innately had, but I just thought maybe give them resistance to piercing. We could give them resistance to... I know, it's such an upgrade, I can wear black clothes now. Because I just recently upgraded my phone, so it's very nice.
I'm a little bit stuck on that. I'm a little bit stuck.
Do they even need the resistance, though? Do they need the resistance, or is the prickly defense and prickly...
No, I don't. I think the prickly defense is a bit of a... It's not as good. It's not as good. And it's like, even to the point of, if I was playing a spellcaster, it's still kind of a bit... Because reactions spells are very good. You know, there's a lot of good reaction spells, so it's like...
Drop the resistance altogether? Okay.
Yeah. I think it needs something else. I think it needs something else to encourage, or something else it can do.
Well, I did have the idea of giving it the advantage on persuasion checks to look non-threatening, but you weren't a fan of that.
I mean, we could. I don't know. I'm still not entirely sold on it. I'm still not.
Neither am I.
I think maybe something to do with like survival checks, or something to do with like. I think we could give them herbalism proficiency. Herbalism and survival checks. Herbalism and survival checks give them proficiency in both.
I don't hate that.
That's potentially. Yeah, that's the only thing I can think of.
Unless we just went the prickly arsenal and we give them 3 abilities with it. We literally just give them a quill throw. Ranged attack, D4 plus proficiency bonus. We could even give the a poisoned quill, couldn't we?
Okay, but how about this, Des? How about this? If we go with the arsenal one, they can use either, but they can use that. But they both come from the same pool.
That's what I mean. Prickly defense, prickly ambush, and prickly throw.
Right. Okay, so they're all from the.
So
same
they're all linked to the same proficiency bonus usage.
Right. Okay.
So let me just think. So
I like that a bit more. I like that. It's the only
throw weapon 20 feet.
Think about.
So actually, you know, okay, hear me out. You throw a quill at a creature within 20 feet of you. Ranged attack roll. On a hit, target takes 1d4 plus proficiency bonus damage. Then they must make a con save equal to DC 8 plus wisdom plus proficiency, or be poisoned for 1 minute. And repeat saving throw at the end of each of their turns.
So this is for the other one? For the
the quill throw. The prickly...
So the prickly defense. Prickly defense.
So we get rid of the prickly resistance, but they get prickly defense, they get prickly ambush, and then they...
So prickly defense is the reaction, you can shoot it out.
Yeah.
And you can potentially poison them?
No, the prickly defense, you can't poison them. We give them a whole separate non-reaction throw, like a quill throw ability. So they get 3 all under the prickly arsenal umbrella.
Okay, so it's an action to throw it out?
I'm thinking, or maybe bonus.
A bit weak though.
No, because it can be used at multi-attack. You can use it as an attack.
I suppose, but it's... I think as a reaction, it adds a bit of a niche thing to it, something else they can do a bit more, whereas...
So you just like to add on the poison condition to the throw we already have?
Potentially, yeah.
Okay.
Because if you're drawing it from the same pool, from the same short rest proficiency bonus pool, it adds a bit more choice between it. And so it's alright making the prickly defense a bit stronger because you're still having to make that choice between the two.
Okay. Hum. These are a hard one to get over. I will give you that.
Yeah. My only thing is just that, in my mind at least, if you have all three of them there, Prickly Defense is a bit of a loser compared to the other two.
Yeah, I get that. I see it. But maybe we just add the poison to the Prickly Defense and we give them the proficiency in survival and herbalism. Or maybe not herbalist tools, but maybe nature checks. Survival and nature.
Survival and nature, sure. I don't know, I kind of like herbalist tools because, yeah, it's just something a bit different.
Oh, what if we gave them proficiency in like woodcarver's tools and we give them the ability to make on it when they take a short or long rest, they can make a weapon. They can make a simple weapon. Like a spear, a sickle, like they can make a simple weapon with woodcarver's tools.
I don't know.
Because you want them to be about like their survival in the world.
Sure, although I also like survival meaning herbalist tools, as in collecting things that can keep them going. It was my rationale with that, and I like.
Sure, I suppose it's just in my mind, it's not actionable.
A bit more of a peaceful. Yeah, I don't know. I wanted something
like a lizard folk.
Like a lizard folk, yeah, like that. But I don't know. I wanted something in there that's a bit different from the very combat heavy abilities they get otherwise. Something that reflects a different part of their nature, almost.
Okay, yeah, I can see. I'm going down their aggressive nature of survival.
Because it's very much like aggressive, and we've got that captured, so I wanted to go something in a bit of a different direction.
Okay, you've sold me. So do you think we need anything else?
I don't think so. I like the two.
Do they still pull from the same proficiency bonus times, or do we just make a short rest each?
No, I think have them both pull from the same pool.
So we just call it the Prickly Arsenal?
The Prickly Arsenal, yeah. Combine the two in the Prickly Arsenal. I hate prickly now. That is my least favorite word, I think, in existence right now. I fucking hate prickly. I'm never playing an arena because I don't want to say prickly.
You know what I love though, Raph? So we're going through reworking all the races for all the races, but everyone already has their races selected for next campaign, so these won't even be seen possibly until the next campaign. Or one shot their guests.
Let's do now though, Des. How long do we have between now and next campaign?
Shut up.
People can change their races. Like at this point here, I feel like whatever people choose, we can just swap them around. Like it doesn't really make much of a difference. Because yeah.
No one's going to swap to an arena, I guarantee it.
Look, no one's going to swap to an arena. From what I know of everyone's characters, but like, look, I'm definitely not going to play an arena with my character. It'd be strange if I did. Wouldn't fit at all, but you know. Yeah. I'm quite happy how we're sticking with that. One thing we've skipped though, Des. One big thing we skipped. Name. Do we keep arena or do we change it?
Oh, we definitely have to change it. We didn't even keep
Sonic Folk. No, Sonic Folk. Done.
Any ideas?
No, not from me at least. Oh geez, I just saw the next one we're going to be doing. Oof.
It's going to be hard to do. Fucking
Hedgefolk?
Hedgefolk? Hedgefolk works. We Hedge Walker.
I don't mind Hedgefolk, honestly.
Or Hedgekin, because we've kind of gone with kin for everything. For a Jotunkin, Dryadkin.
Hedgekin. I kind of like Hedgekin. It has like combo and like
yeah, Hedgekin. I like Hedgekin.
Cool.
But what if we find a Hedge Knight Hedgekin?
What if you put a hedgekin inside a hedge? You just find a hedge and you just put them in there. Hedgekin in the hedge. Or you just like put them in a cactus, so we just like prickles and prickles. Very prickly prickles.
Shut the fuck up. Just shut up. Hedging his bets. I regret putting this race in the game so much.
God, the amount of puns that a potential character playing this race.
Okay.
Okay, I kind of like what we've got there.
I am struggling to even come up with an idea for the Genasi. Which, oh, fuck me again, Raph. Look at the time. Look what time we're at.
Oh my god. But, okay, look, to be fair, we spent a long time talking about the Monday game.
No, we spent 25 minutes.
Jesus. What took up all the time?
No, to be fair, we got through a fair bit, though. We got through more than last time. I love Genasi. That's why I'm trying not to fuck them up, Nate, because I like them a lot. But obviously, if we want to put out our own book, we need something unique. I suppose in our world, though, they are far more like element born. They're not to do with like genies or anything. They're literally creatures like they're people born during strong elemental events like tornadoes, like tsunamis.
Where there's like a weakening between the elemental planes, almost. So that's going to be exciting.
Swapping to PC
tomorrow night, Des. Or tomorrow.
You BRB, Nate. I don't know if we'll still be on. We're gonna think for a little bit. I can't believe the time.
Did we want to tackle this tomorrow night, or did we want to try something else?
Well, we have two options for tomorrow. We can tackle this, or we can start on elves.
Jesus. Elves. I think elves is going to be the one that takes us the longest. That is like a full 2 hours of just stuff.
I think that's a 2 hours per, because thing is Starless alone. Like, that's done, but...
It's done, but I still think we have to, like, break it down a bit.
Hey, Nate.
Especially because we're really focusing on reflavoring a lot of the elves as well. Like, we're just having woad elves. There's going to be Prescient elves, Starless elves, woad elves, and Shadowfair.
Yes. And Ceruvian elves.
So we've very much condensed the level of elves into just 5.
Yeah, 5.
Yeah, 5. I was like, wait a second, is it 4 or 5? Like,
6 if you count Star Elf.
True. But 5. So we've condensed elves into essentially 5 key races now, which is going to be a lot to try and break down, and yeah, it's going to be a lot of work.
Okay.
Especially with the amount of history that we have already set up for them. I feel like Genasi, I'm just looking at the other races we have here. Genasi are going to be tough because it's almost like you have to do air, earth, fire, and water. And you'll have to like try and keep them roughly balanced on the same lines as each other. Satyr?
Do we have to do that, though? We could leave the air, earth, fire, and whatever, but we could make ice, lightning. Like, we could just make new sub-races for Genasi.
Are they?
Because, like, we're not going to make a new tiefling from scratch.
No. Are they SRD Genasi, though? Because tiefling are.
Captain Planet. Love it. I could do Genasi for you right now, easy peasy.
Look, honestly, mate, get your ideas ready for the next stream, and then just put it there. Yeah,
we're 2 minutes from end time, so we're going to continue this tomorrow. We'll be starting a little bit later tomorrow than usual. So we'll be starting tomorrow at 3 p.m. GMT +1, which is 58 minutes ago, roughly, but tomorrow. Because apparently when we homebrew like this, time just flies by, and I love it. It's so good to just chill with you all. So we're going to wind down now, and Nate, be there, be square. But yeah, that's been it today. We've been the Eldritch Scribe. Thank you to Oracle, Sylvia, Fate of the Dice. Thank you for the follows. Thank you for the bit. If you like what you saw today, please consider dropping a follow, or if you want to help me pay for my grown out ass roots, drop a sub, drop a dono, drop a bit. I'd much appreciate it. I need to get my hair redone. Also, I'm using my phone as a webcam, so please head over to the Patreon or something. give me your money, give me your Prime. I'll take whatever you got. I'll chill for a moment, but there's a lot of cool stuff on our Patreon, and if you're sub to the channel, message me on Discord, because you do get access to the World Anvil. Furthermore than that, if you head over onto the Patreon, you want to see every battle map we use, that gets put up every week after the session for $10 a month, and if you really want to see this cracked as crow's mind I have and why I make a session the way I do, for $15 a month, that is available to you. Ideally, when we have all this stuff done, we're going to put this all together on the Homebrewery and make a big-ass booklet that we're already working on, a big-ass booklet from D in December, because we're really trying to break into the homebrew side of things a little bit more. So, if any of that interests you, head over to the Patreon, sub to the channel, give me your money, use your Prime anywhere, I don't care, but we're going to head off now and we're going to raid, probably Phoenix Walkie if they're still on. I don't know. We'll see you then. Bye.
See ya,